Hey, boys and girls, boys and ghouls, ghouls and boys. Now, this story it's a nice story, but it is Halloween, so it has to have some things in it, like a ghost, maybe like a village, maybe some magic. Yeah, let's throw all that in this. As a matter of fact, let's call it the ghost of the village. Yeah, I like that. So let's put an old lady in this. Now, old ladies in some movies, sometimes they make them witches and make them scary. Or they make them really nice grandmas. But let's go somewhere in between. This is a story about an old lady who loved to dance. Can you imagine the dances that she was doing? Well, let me tell you how this dance happened. Every morning when she would wake up, she would look outside, she would see the sun or see a tree, and she would make a painting of the tree or the sun or whatever she saw outside of her window. And it would make her so happy, she would dance every morning. But every morning, the people in her village would come and look at her through the window and say, I don't know who she thinks she is. Nobody dances around here. Nobody paints around here. She said, he said, I said, we said she should stop. Every day. Well, let me go backwards a little bit more. She was the oldest person in her village. You'd think they would respect her, right? Just because she liked to dance and paint, every day this would happen. Paint, dance, people talking. Blah, 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 blah. He said, she said, I said, she said, blah, 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 blah. Paint, dance, gossip, talk, talk, talk. So one day, she got so tired. You know how when people talk about you and talk about you and talk about you and talk about you, it just makes you tired. So she said the world has to be bigger than this village. Maybe there are other people out there who like to paint and who like to dance. So she put some clothes in a bag and she tied that bag to her leg and said, I'm going out there and I'm going to see the world. So she started walking away from her village with the bag with just clothes in it tied to her leg. All of a sudden, that bag of clothes began to get heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. She looked down at the bag of clothes and said, oh me, oh my. This is my lucky day. I left that village with a bag of clothes. And it's gotten heavier and heavier and heavier. Let me see what's in this bag. So she bent down and looked into the bag. The bag had changed on the inside into a bag of gold. Oh me, oh my, this is my lucky day. I left that village with a bag of clothes that just turned into a bag of gold. It is such a beautiful lucky day. So now she's walking away because she still wants to see the world, but with a heavy bag of gold tied to her leg. All of a sudden again, the bag changed. She said, oh me, oh my, this bag is feeling different. I left that village with a bag of clothes that turned into a bag of gold. Let me look in this bag again. She looked in the bag, and this time the bag was full of bumblebees buzzing. Bzz, 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 bzz. Oh, wait, let me close this bag. Oh me, oh my, this is my lucky day. I left that village with a bag of clothes that turned to a bag of gold that just turned into a bag of bumblebees. Well, that could mean some honey, honey. This is my lucky day. So she started walking away further because she needs to see the world and see if the world is bigger than her village, as I've told you. So she's walking and walking and walking. The bees are buzzing and then they stop. Oh, me, oh my, this is my lucky day. I left that village with a bag of clothes, turned into a bag of gold, turned into a bag of bumblebees. What is in this bag? It is a bag full of diamonds. Oh, me, oh my, this is my lucky day. I'm gonna go real fast now because the bag keeps changing. I left this village with a bag of clothes that turned to a bag of gold, turned to a bag of bumblebees, turned to a bag with diamonds. This is my lucky day. Now, magic is happening all over the place, as you can see. This couldn't be a regular story. It is Halloween. So what are we missing? She starts walking further. She looks down because the bag of diamonds feels different. Oh, me, oh my. What is in this bag? She looks down, and in the bag is nothing. Zero. Zip. She looks even further into the bag. Well, the diamonds were shiny, the bumblebees were loud, the gold was heavy, and my clothes were pretty cool. Still nothing. So she unties the bag and she pushes it away from her because now this is getting a little scary. And then she looks, and inside of the bag, she could see a pair of red eyes staring at her. Oh, me, oh my, this is my lucky day. I think I left that village with a bag of clothes that turned to a bag of gold, that turned to a bag of bumblebees, that turned to a bag with diamonds, that turned into a bag with a pair of eyes staring at me. This couldn't be the world. I'm scared. I'm going back to my village. So she left the bag sitting there and she started walking home. She got a few feet away, the bag was in front of her. Wait a minute, what is going on? So she said, maybe if I go left. And she went left. The bag was in front of her. Maybe if I go right, the bag was in front of her. Maybe if I go backwards, the bag was behind her. Is this bag trying to tell me something? So she stopped. She looked at the bag. She said, maybe I should paint this. So she went to a tree and she painted the bag on her hand like a tattoo. She said, well, I don't have anything else to draw on. Maybe I'll draw something else. And she took a piece of a tree, and she painted it like a tattoo, the gold on her hand. The bag started to shake. She said, oh, my painting has something to do with this bag shaking. So she went to another tree and she picked another branch and she wrote on her arm, diamonds, a bunch of beautiful diamonds. And the bag started to shake even more. But she noticed that the bag wasn't just shaking. The bag was dancing. She said, oh, me, oh my, this is my lucky day. I left that village with a bag of clothes that turned into a bag of gold, that turned into a bag of bumblebees, that turned into a bag of diamonds, that turned into a bag with a dancing something going on with red eyes. She had one last thing to paint. She painted the bumblebees. And she heard, ouch! But it was coming from the bag. So she looked at the bag, she opened it. Get this. Out of the bag came a ghost. I am the ghost of all the dreams that don't happen. I am the ghost of the village. Nothing happens in this village. Something has finally happened in the village. Wait a minute, who are you? I told you I'm the ghost of the village. But why are you dancing when I dance? Well, I love to dance and I love to paint. And I think painting and dancing is wonderful. I do too. Aren't you afraid of me? Baby, I am not afraid of anything that dances and gets out of the way of bumblebees and appreciates some gold and diamonds, but don't worship it. I appreciate that. Well, you should be afraid of me because nobody in that village dances, nobody paints. I do. And all that day, the ghost and the lady painted and danced, painted and danced. They painted the bag. They danced under the trees. They had such a good time. But it started to get dark. And the lady had never been out of her village before. So now she said, listen, I got to go back. I got to get my bag and go back to that village, and I got to get some sleep. It's been a pleasure. I will see you later, ghost. And don't worry about it. I'm not scared of you. So she picked up her bag, and she was saying goodbye to the ghost. But the ghost was gone. What happened? What happened to my friend? So she walked back to the village, and she said, I'm going to paint today, and I'm going to dance today, and maybe my friend will come back because he likes that kind of stuff. So she took her big canvas to draw on and to paint on, and she started to draw all kinds of things. She started to draw herself with the ghost dancing, and she started to draw gold and diamonds and bumblebees. And remember what happened in the beginning of the story when she painted and danced. People come to her window, blah, 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 blah. He said, she said, blah, blah, blah. Nobody does that. They did the same thing. Yes, they did. They came back to her window. But this time, she could see them, but she couldn't hear them. So she painted some more, peeked out a window. She could see them, couldn't hear them more. She painted everything she could think of. She danced as long as she could. She couldn't see them, couldn't hear them. And what she could see of them, they just looked like they were confused. She said, well, what about my ghost friend? He's never come back. Oh. And then she realized there was no ghost. It was only her imagination, because she was so brokenhearted that people wouldn't dance or sing and looked at it like a bad thing, that she had to use her imagination even as she left her village. And she said, I will never leave this village again. I'm going to paint and dance for the rest of my life. But every once in a while, particularly around Halloween, she would hear, I am the ghost of the village, and you are still painting and dancing, and you are still my friend. So was the ghost real? 1,000 years passed. Everybody in the village, of course, was gone who lived there before. As a matter of fact, there was nothing in the village. And how do I know that? Because I walked through the village and I looked around and I didn't see anything until one day I came to a house, and in this house were beautiful paintings, and you could hear the sound of music being played. Where's that music coming from? And then I realized that maybe the ghost is real, but your imagination is even more real. And so I asked myself, what happened to in this village to everybody else? Nothing. They talked and talked and talked and did nothing. She painted and danced and left all kind of beauty for us to remember. And the moral of this story is, if you like to paint, dance, or anything else, then do it, because people are going to talk about you anyway. And as far as that ghost goes, maybe it's there, maybe it wasn't, but it is Halloween, so think about it.